Hey, Curious Collective, I'm Indigo, and welcome back to Tales and Tangents, where every story leaves something behind: a lesson, a question, a laugh, a warning, sometimes all four. Okay, today's story is called We Swam in That Lake for 5 minutes, and it's been following us for 3 years. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, and before I start, I just want to shout out the viewer that submitted this story. This is my very first story that was submitted by a viewer, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, now let's get into it. If you have any comments or anything to say about the story, she'll be in the comments, so please leave some feedback, but be nice, okay? 5 minutes, that's all it was. 5 minutes in a lake they never should have found, on a road that shouldn't have taken them there, on a detour that none of the four of them could later explain because none of them remember whose idea it was to turn off the highway. 5 minutes in the water, 3 years of consequences. This is their story and their words, and it hasn't ended. So, in August, a road trip through Tennessee, four friends, Sarah, Mike, Jenna, and Sam, they were heading to a music festival and they had 2 days to kill. That's a lot of time to kill, so someone, none of them can agree who, suggested turning off the main road to find somewhere to swim. The road they turned onto wasn't on any map they could find afterward. It was paved, which felt like a good sign. It curved, though, about 8 miles of a dense pine forest before opening suddenly into a clearing. The lake was there, still a deep, unusual color, greenish black, even in the afternoon sun. No beach, just a grassy bank, no signs, no facilities, no other people, no boats, not even a ripple. It felt like somewhere that hadn't been touched, Sarah said later. Not in a peaceful way, in a held breath way, like it was waiting. Hmm, that's interesting. They swam anyway. The water was cold, bracingly, shockingly cold for August. They lasted 5 minutes before the cold drove them back to the bank. They left, they didn't think about it again until the first week of September. So basically, they got in the water, they were hot, they wanted to, kill some time. It was some very cold ass water. It was too cold for them to even enjoy, so they got up and continued to go about their business. Basically, that's what happened. Then, the first week of September, here we go. It started with the smell. All four of them in different cities within the same week, waking up to the smell of algae, cold and mineral and green. The specific smell of still water. No source, no explanation, just there, present and vivid, then gone. Then the sound, water dripping, somewhere in the house, always just out of sight at precisely 3:14 in the morning. Mike checked his plumbing 3 times. Nothing was leaking. He set up a recording device one night, a simple voice memo app running from the midnight to 5 a.m. At 3:14, the dripping sound is clearly audible on the recording. He played it to a plumber who said there was simply nothing in the house that could be making that sound. Sam stopped being able to go into rooms where water was standing, a bathtub, a filled sink. He described an overwhelming compulsion to get into it, not a desire, a compulsion. He started taking only showers. He got rid of his fish tank and he moved into a flat that didn't even have a bathtub in it. Jenna was the most severely affected. She began sleepwalking, always towards water. Her partner woke one night to find her gone. Front door open and Jade standing in the middle of the front door open and Jenna standing in the middle of the road in the rain, eyes open, completely unresponsive, face turned upward. She had no memory of even leaving the bed that night. So bizarre. A year after the lake trip, Sarah, who had been the least affected, just the smell occasionally and persistent, just the smell occasionally and a persistent sense that something was in her peripheral vision. So she started researching and she found a local historians forum for that specific part of Tennessee that they were in. A post from 2019 by a retired geography teacher. He described a body of water in the hills that appeared and disappeared from the maps over decades. Locals called it the Held Lake because he wrote, old timers said it held on to things. Animals that drank from it acted strangely. Hunters who camped near it reported broken sleep and following sounds. He posted coordinates. They were exactly where the four friends had been. In the comments, someone had replied, my grandfather said you don't take anything from that water, not even a memory. So now, 3 years later, Sam still doesn't take baths. Jenna still sleepwalks, though less frequently now. Mike unplugged his recording device 18 months ago because he said hearing the dripping and not understanding is just like worse than ignoring it. And Sarah says the smell is mostly gone now. Mostly. All four of them say the same thing when you ask if they'd go back and skip the lake. Of course. So, shout out to Sarah. What an interesting story. Like, that's pretty creepy to all four friends living in different states experiencing these same little things like the running water, waking up every night at the same time. That alone would freak me out. You know, like, oh, we are all waking up at the same time. And hearing water and not knowing where it's coming from. Like, first of all, I wouldn't be going back to sleep. Like, I'd just be starting my day at 3:14 in the morning, because if I wake up and I'm hearing water, but I can't find anything running, like, I'm up now. All the lights are going on in the house. Shoot, music is going on. Something to just, distract me from the freakiness that's going on in my house. And I wonder, did any of them move? Have the guy, Mike with the plumbing, did he move? Or when he moves, since they're still going through this? I wonder if these issues will follow them. Maybe it's trauma in their brains and they're freaking themselves out because they all had this experience. But no, it didn't start until like a month after. Whatever, that was a really good story. I appreciate that. Please feel free to email me your stories if you would like me to share them on the channel. I like these spooky stories that's just like, there's no answer to it. It just is. Because that's how life is sometimes. There is no definite answer that will give us closure. We just have to know that life is mystical. Life is actually a lot magical than they would like us to believe. So sometimes there is no explanation. You just need to be happy that you are safe and you survived the experience and you live to share the experience with other people. And then you move on. Like they said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I know I did. I'll see you next time on Tales and Tangents. Peace out.